Are you excited to dive into the world of NFC with your new iOS 11 beta? If you're wondering how to read NFC tags on your iPhone 7, you're in the right place. Today, we will explore how to use the Core NFC SDK. I totally get it. It can be frustrating when you install a new beta and can't find the features you want to try out. You're not alone in this. Many developers are eager to experiment with NFC but feel lost without sample code. So here's the specific question we're tackling today. One user recently asked, is there any sample code available for reading NFC tags using the Core NFC SDK in iOS 11? If this sounds familiar, stick around as we break it down. Understanding how NFC works is key. NFC, or near-field communication, allows your iPhone to communicate with NFC tags. However, accessing this feature requires some specific code to get started. Let's dive into the basics. And don't go anywhere. At the end of this video, I will share a handy tip that will make working with NFC even easier. To begin using the Core NFC framework, the user needs to import the necessary module into their project. This is done by adding the Core NFC framework to the project settings. Next, the user should create a class that conforms to the NFC Reader Session Delegate protocol. This will allow the app to handle NFC tag reading. Now the user can start a new NFC session. This is done by creating an instance of NFC Reader Session and calling its begin method. Once the session is active, the user can implement the delegate method to handle the detected NFC tags. This method will process the tag data. Finally, the user should ensure that their app has the necessary permissions to use NFC. This involves updating the app's info.plist file. Fun fact: NFC technology is used in everything from contactless payments to smart posters. It's amazing how such a small chip can hold so much potential. Now let's look at the answers provided by other users. An alternative solution provided by another user suggests adding a specific key to your entitlements file. This key is com.apple.developer.nfc.readersession.formats, and it should be linked to an array of enabled NFC types. For example, you can include NDF in the array. This approach worked for them. That's the end of that answer. Let's see another perspective. This user provides an alternative approach for using Core NFC in iOS 11. First, they recommend adding the NFC capability to your app through the Developer Center. You can enable NFC tag reading under App IDs. If your project lacks an entitlement file, Xcode can create one for you. Simply activate and deactivate any capability in Xcode, then manually add the NFC key in the entitlements file. Next, you need to provide a privacy usage description in your info.plist file. This is important as iOS will show a warning when scanning begins. Finally, import Core NFC in your Swift code. Remember, testing NFC requires an actual iPhone 7 or 7 Plus, as the simulator does not support it. Let's take a look at another answer from another user. This user provides additional insights on using the NFC NDEF reader session. They emphasize that you need the proper entitlement and a usage description in your app's info.plist. The session automatically scans for NDEF formatted NFC forum tags and presents a modal UI when it starts. Remember, the session lasts for 60 seconds and only one session can be active at a time. If the session is invalidated, you'll receive specific error codes based on the reason. That's all on that answer. Let's take a look at another one. One user suggests ensuring that the usage description is set up correctly and that the app has the necessary capability enabled in the Apple Developer Center. They also provide a helpful tutorial based on their experience with Swift 4. Now, let's shift our focus to a different response. One user shares their experience with adding Core NFC to their project. They mention that even after manually adding the capability in the entitlements, Xcode may not recognize it unless at least one other capability is enabled. This issue caused them unexpected termination errors until they turned on an additional capability. Here's the tip I promised. Always test your NFC code on a real device. The simulator won't give you the full experience, so make sure to grab your iPhone. And there you have it. You now have the basics to start reading NFC tags with your iPhone 7 using the Core NFC SDK. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe for more coding tips and tricks.